Today I'm here to talk about something simple, yet incredibly powerful: get up and get it done. How many times have we told ourselves, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start next week, or I'm just waiting for the right moment? The truth is, the right moment never comes. The people who succeed, the ones who turn dreams into reality, are not the ones who wait, they are the ones who act. Let me remind you, you don't need permission to chase your dreams. You don't need perfect conditions, unlimited resources, or even full confidence. You just need one thing: the courage to start. We often believe that we need to feel motivated before we take action. We wait for that spark, that perfect moment when everything aligns and we feel ready. But the reality is that motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, and if we rely on it, we will always be stuck in a cycle of waiting. What truly drives progress is action. Taking the first step, no matter how small, creates momentum, and momentum fuels motivation. I think about a car at rest. It takes the most energy to start moving, but once it gains momentum, it requires less effort to keep going. The same principle applies to us. The hardest part of any journey is the beginning. When we start, resistance is at its highest. Doubts creep in, fear paralyzes us, and the task ahead feels overwhelming. But the moment we take that first action, whether it's writing the first sentence of a book, making that first sales call, or stepping into the gym, we break the cycle of hesitation. One step leads to another, and suddenly we find ourselves in motion. Many people wait for inspiration to strike before they take action, but high achievers understand that action breeds inspiration. A writer doesn't wait for the perfect idea before they start typing. They sit down and write, and through the process, great ideas emerge. An athlete doesn't wait until they feel like training. They show up every day, and discipline turns into passion. Success is not about waiting for the right emotions, it is about developing the habit of movement. When we take action, even when we don't feel like it, we signal to our minds that we are capable. The more we act, the more our confidence grows. We begin to see progress, even if it's small, and that progress fuels motivation. It's a cycle. Action leads to results. Results build confidence, and confidence creates even more action. This is why some people seem unstoppable. They don't have some secret advantage. They have simply learned that doing something, no matter how small, is always better than doing nothing. One of the biggest obstacles to action is overthinking. We analyze every possible outcome, every challenge we might face, and every reason why things might go wrong. The more we think, the more we convince ourselves that now is not the right time. But action eliminates overthinking. When we act, our focus shifts from fear to progress. We stop being trapped in our heads and start engaging with the world. Even if things don't go perfectly, we learn, adjust, and improve. Momentum is powerful because it makes difficult tasks feel easier over time. When we start working on a project consistently, it becomes part of our routine. When we exercise regularly, it stops feeling like a chore and starts becoming a lifestyle. The initial push may be difficult, but as we keep moving, it becomes natural. That's why successful people emphasize consistency over intensity. It's not about making one grand effort, it's about showing up every day, even when we don't feel like it. Taking action also helps us overcome fear. Fear thrives in inaction. The longer we wait, the scarier a task seems. But the moment we engage with it, fear loses its power. A person who is afraid of public speaking, for example, will never get better by waiting. But the moment they step on stage, their fear starts to fade. Each time they do it, their confidence grows. Fear is not something we eliminate before we act. It is something we conquer through action. Opportunities come to those who are in motion. When we take action, we put ourselves in positions where good things can happen. We meet the right people, we gain experience, and we discover new possibilities. On the other hand, when we do nothing, nothing changes. The world moves forward, and we stay stuck in the same place. Waiting keeps us where we are, but action opens doors. Even the smallest step is valuable. If a goal seems overwhelming, break it down into tiny actions. Want to write a book? Write one paragraph. Want to start a business? Research for 10 minutes. Want to get fit? Take a 5-minute walk. The key is to start. Small actions create big changes over time. The secret to progress is not in waiting for the perfect conditions, but in creating movement. Once we start, we build momentum, And once momentum takes over, success becomes inevitable. Perfectionism is one of the biggest barriers to success. Many people delay taking action because they believe they need everything to be just right before they begin. They think they need to have the perfect plan, the perfect skills, or the perfect timing. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. No matter how much we plan or prepare, there will always be uncertainties, challenges, and things we cannot predict. The pursuit of perfection often leads to paralysis, where nothing gets done because we are too afraid of making mistakes. Progress, on the other hand, comes from action. It comes from starting with what we have and improving along the way. The most successful people in the world did not wait until they had the perfect conditions to start. They took the first step, made mistakes, learned from them, and kept moving forward. The greatest businesses, inventions, and works of art were not created in a single perfect attempt. They were refined through trial and error, through persistence and adaptation. When we strive for perfection before taking action, we set impossible standards for ourselves. We convince ourselves that if something is not flawless from the start, it is not worth doing. This mindset kills creativity, innovation, and growth. The reality is that failure and imperfection are necessary parts of success. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn. Every flaw is a chance to improve. Instead of fearing imperfection, we should embrace it as a natural part of the journey. Starting before we feel ready is one of the most powerful things we can do. Readiness is a myth, because no one ever feels fully prepared for something new. Growth happens when we push ourselves beyond our comfort zones. If we wait until we are 100% ready, we will never start. Action leads to clarity. When we take that first step, we gain experience, and experience gives us the confidence and knowledge we need to improve. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It is the willingness to start before everything is perfect. Those who succeed understand that imperfection is part of the process. They know that a rough draft is better than a blank page, that a small imperfect step forward is better than standing still. They understand that every master was once a beginner, and every expert once made countless mistakes. Some of the most innovative companies in the world operate on the principle of progress over perfection. They release products before they are perfect, gather feedback, and continuously improve. If they waited until their product was flawless, they would never launch. The same applies to individuals. The best way to improve is to start, learn, adjust, and keep going. Fear of imperfection often comes from a fear of judgment. We worry about what others will think if we fail or if our work is not perfect. But the truth is, most people are too focused on their own lives to judge us as harshly as we imagine. Even if they do, their opinions do not define our worth or our potential. The only way to truly fail is to never try. Taking imperfect action is always better than taking no action at all. Progress builds confidence. The more we act, the more we learn. The more we learn, the better we get. Confidence does not come from knowing everything beforehand. It comes from proving to ourselves that we can figure things out along the way. Every small step we take, no matter how imperfect, brings us closer to our goals. The only way to truly learn and improve is by doing. Waiting for perfection can also lead to regret. Time does not wait, and opportunities pass us by when we hesitate. Looking back, we often regret the things we did not do more than the things we did. The dream we never pursued, the chance we never took, the idea we never shared, these are the things that stay with us. But when we take action, even imperfectly, we create experiences, learn lessons, and open doors to new possibilities. The mindset shift from perfection to progress changes everything. Instead of asking, is this perfect? We should ask, is this moving me forward? Instead of saying, I'm not ready, we should say, I'll figure it out as I go. Instead of fearing mistakes, we should see them as stepping stones to success. Taking action, no matter how small or imperfect, is what leads to growth, achievement, and fulfillment. Excuses are one of the biggest obstacles to success. They provide a way to justify inaction, to delay progress, and to avoid discomfort. People often convince themselves that they are not capable, that the timing is not right, or that circumstances are holding them back. While these reasons may feel valid in the moment, they are ultimately barriers created by the mind to avoid stepping outside of comfort zones. Success is built on action, not excuses. Every person who has achieved great things has faced difficulties, limitations, and challenges. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not the absence of obstacles, but the refusal to let those obstacles become excuses. Challenges will always exist, but so will opportunities. Those who reach their goals are the ones who focus on what they can do rather than what they cannot. Excuses often stem from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of uncertainty all lead people to avoid taking risks. Instead of admitting fear, many people disguise it with excuses. They tell themselves they do not have enough time, money, or talent. But time can be managed, money can be earned, and skills can be developed. The real issue is not external limitations, but an internal mindset that prioritizes comfort over growth. People often wait for ideal conditions before taking action. They want the perfect moment when they feel ready, when circumstances align, and when success is guaranteed. But ideal conditions rarely exist. If action depends on everything being perfect, progress will never happen. Those who succeed are the ones who act despite imperfect circumstances. They take the first step even when they are uncertain. They move forward even when they do not have all the answers. One of the most common excuses is a lack of time. Many people believe they are too busy to pursue their goals, but time is a matter of priorities. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, yet some people build businesses, learn new skills, and chase their dreams, while others remain stuck. The key is not to find more time, but to use time effectively. Small daily actions compound into significant progress over time. Even 10 minutes a day focused on a goal is better than waiting for a perfect, uninterrupted block of time that may never come. Another common excuse is a lack of resources. People often believe they need more money, better equipment, or additional support before they can start. While resources can be helpful, they are not a requirement for action. Many successful people started with nothing but determination. Creativity and perseverance can compensate for a lack of resources. The most important asset is not external resources, but an internal willingness to start with what is available and build from there. Doubt is another excuse that keeps people from moving forward. Many people hesitate to start because they do not believe they are good enough or capable enough. They compare themselves to others who have already succeeded and assume they could never reach that level. But no one starts as an expert. Skills are developed through practice, experience, and persistence. The only way to gain confidence is to take action and prove to oneself that progress is possible. Excuses also come in the form of past failures. People use past mistakes as reasons not to try again. They believe that because something did not work before, it will not work in the future. But failure is not a reason to stop. It is a lesson to learn from. Every failure provides information, growth, and resilience. Those who succeed are the ones who see failure as a stepping stone rather than a stopping point. Excuses may provide temporary comfort, but they also bring long-term regret. When people avoid action due to excuses, they stay in the same place while time moves forward. Dreams remain unfulfilled, potential remains untapped, and opportunities are lost. Looking back, people rarely regret the risks they took, but often regret the chances they did not take. Replacing excuses with action changes everything. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," choosing to make time leads to progress. Instead of saying, "I don't have the resources," finding creative solutions builds resilience. Instead of saying, "I'm not ready," taking the first step proves that readiness is created through action. The moment excuses are removed, possibilities open up. Progress begins when excuses end. Many people believe that success is driven by motivation. They wait for inspiration to strike before they take action, believing that once they feel energized, they will finally start working toward their goals. However, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, often fluctuating based on emotions, circumstances, and external factors. If progress depends on motivation, it will be inconsistent and success will always feel out of reach. Discipline, on the other hand, is the foundation of lasting achievement. Unlike motivation, which is based on feelings, discipline is based on commitment. It is the ability to take action regardless of mood, external circumstances, or fleeting emotions. While motivation may provide an initial spark, discipline is what keeps a fire burning even when enthusiasm fades. Relying on motivation alone creates an unstable cycle. A person may start strong when they feel inspired, but the moment challenges arise, their energy diminishes and progress stops. This pattern repeats, leading to frustration and lack of results. Discipline breaks this cycle by ensuring that action continues even when excitement wears off. It creates consistency, and consistency leads to mastery. Successful people understand that discipline is more important than motivation. Athletes train every day, not because they always feel like it, but because they have committed to a goal. Writers write even when they do not have inspiration. Entrepreneurs work on their businesses even when they are not excited. What separates high achievers from others is not that they always feel motivated, but that they show up and put in the work no matter how they feel. Discipline is built through small, daily choices. It is not about making dramatic changes overnight, but about developing habits that reinforce consistency. A person who wants to get in shape does not need to feel motivated every day to work out. They just need to commit to showing up, even on days when they do not feel like it. Over time, these small actions become second nature. One of the biggest advantages of discipline is that it builds resilience. Motivation tends to fade in the face of obstacles, but discipline allows a person to push through difficulties. Challenges, failures, and setbacks do not derail progress because discipline keeps momentum going. The ability to keep going, even when things get tough, is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up. Discipline also removes the need for constant decision-making. When a person relies on motivation, they often waste time debating whether they feel like doing something. This leads to procrastination and inconsistency. Discipline removes this uncertainty by turning actions into habits. Instead of questioning whether to go to the gym, a disciplined person treats it as a non-negotiable part of their routine. Instead of wondering whether to work on their goals, they simply do it because it has become a part of their identity. Another key aspect of discipline is that it creates freedom. While it may seem restrictive at first, discipline actually leads to greater control over one's life. When a person is disciplined with their time, they achieve more in less time, allowing them to enjoy life without stress. When they are disciplined with their health, they feel stronger and more energetic. When they are disciplined with their finances, they gain financial security and independence. Discipline is not something people are born with. It is something that is developed through practice. Every time a person chooses to take action despite lacking motivation, they strengthen their ability to stay disciplined. The more they do this, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Eventually, discipline replaces the need for motivation, and success becomes a result of habits rather than emotions. Waiting for motivation to take action leads to inconsistency, frustration, and unfinished goals. Choosing discipline instead ensures that progress continues regardless of how one feels. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline is what carries it through to the finish line. The key to achieving anything worthwhile is not to rely on fleeting inspiration, but to develop the discipline to take action every single day. Every decision made today shapes the future. The habits formed, the actions taken, and the choices made all contribute to the person one becomes. People often focus on their dreams and goals, but delay taking action, thinking there will always be more time. However, time does not wait, and every moment spent hesitating is a moment lost. The future is not something that simply happens. It is created by the decisions made in the present. Many people live with the mindset that they will start tomorrow. They tell themselves they will begin working on their goals when they feel ready, when they have more time, or when circumstances are better. But the truth is, waiting does not create results. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who wait for perfect conditions. They are the ones who take action despite uncertainty. They understand that the future is built in the present and that every small effort adds up over time. The choices made today determine where life will be in the future. Someone who commits to improving their skills daily will be far ahead of someone who keeps delaying. A person who exercises consistently will be healthier than someone who keeps making excuses. Success is not built in one day, but it is built every day through consistent effort. Every action taken today is an investment in the future. Regret often comes from missed opportunities rather than failed attempts. Looking back, people rarely regret the things they tried, even if they did not succeed. They regret the chances they did not take, the dreams they did not pursue, and the time they wasted waiting. The pain of not trying is often far greater than the pain of failure. Taking action today even in small ways, prevents the regret of wondering what could have been. It is easy to underestimate the impact of small actions. Many people believe that success requires big, dramatic efforts. In reality, it is the small, consistent choices that make the biggest difference. Reading for 10 minutes a day may not seem significant, but over time, it leads to knowledge and growth. Saving a little money regularly may feel like it does not matter, but years later, it creates financial security. Success is not about one big moment, but about the accumulation of daily habits and actions. Growth happens when action is taken despite fear and doubt. Many people do not move forward because they feel uncertain or unprepared. They believe they need more confidence before they can start, but confidence does not come before action, it comes as a result of action. The more a person pushes through fear, the more they realize they are capable. The only way to develop confidence is to take the first step, even when it feels uncomfortable. Excuses can be comforting, but they do not lead to progress. People often blame circumstances, time, or resources for not taking action. But there will always be obstacles, and those who succeed are the ones who find ways to move forward despite challenges. The reality is that no one else is responsible for creating a better future. No one else can do the work that needs to be done. Taking ownership of today's choices is the only way to take control of the future. Waiting for motivation is another common trap that holds people back. Motivation is temporary and unreliable. Some days, energy will be high and taking action will feel easy. Other days, motivation will be low and everything will seem difficult. Those who achieve their goals do not rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. They show up even when they do not feel like it, knowing that every effort brings them closer to their vision. Time is the most valuable resource and it cannot be recovered once lost. Every day is an opportunity to build something, to grow, and to move forward. The future self is shaped by the choices made today. Taking action, no matter how small, is the key to ensuring that the future is one of success rather than regret. The best time to start is not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Success is not a single event or a one-time achievement. It is the result of consistent actions taken over time. Many people look at highly successful individuals and assume they got there because of luck, talent, or one big breakthrough. In reality, success is built on small daily habits that compound over time. Every great achievement is the result of persistence, discipline, and continuous improvement. The key is not in doing something once, but in making it a habit. Habits shape the outcomes of life. The things done repeatedly, whether consciously or unconsciously, determine success or failure. Someone who exercises daily, even for a short time, will be healthier than someone who occasionally works out with great intensity but then stops. A person who reads every day will accumulate more knowledge than someone who reads only when they feel like it. Progress is not about occasional effort, but about consistency. Many people set big goals and feel excited about achieving them. However, excitement fades, and when motivation wears off, they stop taking action. This is where the power of habits comes in. When an action becomes a habit, it no longer depends on motivation. It becomes automatic, just like brushing teeth or getting dressed in the morning. Success happens when productive actions become a natural part of daily life. Small actions, when repeated consistently, create massive results. A writer who writes just one page a day will have a full book in a year. A person who saves a small amount of money each week will have financial security over time. The impact of these small habits may not be noticeable in the beginning, but they build up and lead to transformation. Many people underestimate the power of small actions because they do not see immediate results, but real success is always a long-term process. Discipline is what turns habits into success. It is easy to stay committed when results are visible, but the true test is continuing even when progress seems slow. A person who starts exercising may not see major changes in the first few weeks, but if they stay consistent, their body will eventually transform. Those who quit too soon never get to see the full rewards of their efforts. Bad habits work the same way as good habits, but in the opposite direction. Just as small, positive actions lead to success, small negative actions lead to failure. A person who eats unhealthy food every day may not notice an immediate impact, but over time, it leads to serious health issues. Someone who consistently spends more money than they earn may not feel the consequences right away, but eventually debt and financial stress catch up. Success is not just about adding good habits, it is also about eliminating the bad ones that hold progress back. The environment plays a big role in shaping habits. Surroundings, routines, and the people in one's life influence daily actions. Being in an environment that encourages growth makes it easier to stay consistent. If a person wants to develop a reading habit, keeping books nearby and reducing distractions will make it easier to read daily. If someone wants to exercise regularly, surrounding themselves with people who prioritize fitness will keep them motivated. Success is not just about willpower, but also about setting up an environment that supports good habits. Mindset is another important factor in building successful habits. People often expect quick results, and when they do not see immediate progress, they feel discouraged. However, true success requires patience and persistence. Every small step counts, even when it does not feel significant. The key is to focus on the process rather than just the outcome. When the process is right, results will eventually follow. Many people spend too much time looking for shortcuts, but success has no shortcuts. The only way to achieve lasting results is through consistency. Hard work repeated over time leads to mastery and excellence. There is no secret formula other than showing up every day and putting in the effort. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest, they are the ones who refuse to quit. Success is not an accident, and it is not something that happens overnight. It is built through habits, discipline, and daily commitment. Every small action contributes to a larger goal, and over time, these actions create success. The most important thing is to start and stay consistent, trusting that small efforts will lead to big results.